guys, Independent Watcher is super excited to bring to Hong Kong Hercules watches. If you remember, we had a review one of the watches, the first one from the brand, actually a very special one, the one that went all the way up to the top of Everest. But now we have more to show you, and most importantly, we have the founder of the brand, Adrian, the man who brought back this name. We're going to ask him a few questions and look at new dial options. Very exciting already. I will put them onto the screen. So, Adrian, welcome to Hong Kong.
Thank you very much.
First
Thank
time
you
here?
for your invitation.
First time here?
Third time here.
Third time.
Yeah.
And right, what brought you first to watches in general?
A very quick summary of myself. I'm originally Dutch, born in Rotterdam, and after my high school I went to the watchmaking school in, very difficult to pronounce, Schoonhoven. It's a very Dutch.
Schoonhoven?
Yeah, exactly. And I studied watchmaking there. I studied economics on the side, and in the weekends I worked in a watch shop as a salesman selling. We were selling Patek, Rolex.
Wow!
It was a candy store for me.
So you were covering the whole thing: the business side, the watchmaking side, and the sales side.
This is what I'm trying to do.
Quite unique.
What I try to do, yes. So I tried to combine everything, and I finished with an internship in a Rolex service center near Amsterdam.
Okay.
So I was servicing Submariners, Datejust. Daytona was not allowed yet, but yeah.
You have your man if you need to fix your Rolex.
Well,
wow, that is quite impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, and from there I went to Lausanne, Switzerland, did my master studies there. To go to watches, if you want to do watches, Switzerland is the place.
Right.
As I say, I don't know, if you want to do limoncello, you go to Italy, the watches are in Switzerland.
Yeah.
So I started there, finished my masters, and
masters in watchmaking or
no,
in business?
It was a business
master. In business, okay.
Yes. And then I started during my studies a watch brand called ESA. It's a German-based brand. This I did for 7 years in total, and this one I sold end of last year, and I'm fully focusing on Hercules, and I really enjoy, because I think the story is fantastic. The product has for me more to do with watchmaking, right. So I can put more of my passion in the product, and yeah, I'm very excited to be here to show you these pieces.
Okay, so maybe you can remind our viewers the origin of the brand.
Yeah.
And the origin is in exploration, in particular mountaineering.
Yeah, correct. So it started in 1953 when a group of alpinists went to the Nanga Parbat and tried to reach the top. And one of the guys there who was in this group, called Herman Bühl, was an Austrian guy, and became the first man to reach the top of Nanga Parbat, or how they call it, the first successful descent, because maybe there were people before on the top, but you have to come back to tell the story. And he was wearing a Hercules watch. If you see, look at the dial, it's written HP Hercules. So HP comes from Hensi and Pfaff, which was the factory that made these watches and owned the brand. And they put these pieces on the wrist of these alpinists to promote and test the pieces and use it as marketing for the quality of their product. And this was really the time when the mountaineering, or it's like the years when these tops were reached. So Mount Everest was 1 week before. You had Broad Peak, K2, all these. This was the area, or the years where that was happening. So the first series is very much inspired on the first watch that went to the top. The dial, especially with the 12, 3, 6 and 9, and then the striped indexes around. A central second hand, which was very important for me to add, which was difficult with especially a micro rotor to have a central second hand. The case is built in 3 pieces, so separate bezel, middle part and back, and actually the movement goes in from the front. So you put the dial on the movement, then the hands, then you have the middle part of the case, you lower it in, then you put the bezel on the top, turn it around and close it. And with the micro-rotor movement, it's built this way that there's no case ring at all. So the case is the case ring, if you say so. And yeah, well, I think what is the party piece is on the back of the movement, I engrave the height lines of the mountain. So if you have a map of a mountain, the closer the lines are together, the steeper it is on the mountain. So I engrave the lines of Nanga Parbat in the back and fill them with BGW9 Super Luminova. So it lights up ice blue, let's say.
Ice blue.
Yeah.
Wow. And also the name of the brand on the micro
Yeah.
rotor.
This was actually quite cool. I was showing a prototype piece to Fratello watches.
Yeah.
Well, they're also Dutch guys, so I was visiting them. And I was asking them, one of the guys, what do you think, should I also fill the logo Hercules with Luminova?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, can you? I said, yes. They said, yeah, definitely. So trying from time to time to get also some input. So it's a full Swiss-made watch and chronometer certified. And instead of passing the movements by the COSC certification, it goes to a different one. It's called Time Lab. They're in Geneva, and they test the watch, but in the case, so fully assembled. And in my view, but everyone's allowed to have their own view, of course, that's better because that's how you're going to use the watch, the movement in the case. And you never know if you add hands or case the watch, you know, if something changes. So every watch comes with the full certificate from Time Lab, and every watch is tested. Let's say it's not made to order, but tested to order. So your watch is, we guarantee that your watch has passed the test recently.
You could draw many comparisons with Rolex, from the origin of the brand and the discovery around. Well, not the discovery, but the exploit of going all the way to the top of a mountain nearby Everest around the same time, and the dedication to make these ultra solid, long power reserve and have the chronometer certification as well. One can tell that you did work at Rolex, and then you wanted to offer top quality. When I first saw the watch, I thought, oh, it seems like a simple watch. And then the more you look at it, the more you see the grain on the dial, and we can talk about that. Realize the water resistance, the chronometric performance, the beauty of the movement, all the work that's in it. The more this watch is an incredibly compelling package. And so there's two movements, and maybe you can talk a bit where the movements are manufactured by who are your partners.
Yeah, so this is the micro-rotor movement, obviously automatic, 70 hours power reserve. And then there's another one, is the hand wound, which is under one of the other colored dials. And that's...
Am I going to find the right one? Let's see.
No, they're all three.
All three.
So also with the lines, 2 barrels, 5 days power reserve, and even though longer power reserve, still the chronometer also by Time Lab. So I work with 2 different suppliers for the movements. The hand wound is made by MHVJ, and it stands for Manufacture Horlogerie Vallée du Joux. They are in the same area as, well, they're actually neighbors of Blancpain. Jaeger-LeCoultre, Audemars Piguet, all these brands are there. So they make this movement fully there. That's one. And 2 is the micro-rotor is designed by Olivier Maury in La Chaux-de-Fonds. So La Chaux-de-Fonds a bit away from Vallée du Joux. And he made all the technical part, and then what I do is I take the bridges, do the sunburst finishing on them, do the lines, and also we add, for example, a different balance wheel there to pass the heat test of time lap. Because the chronometer test is not only over days the precision of how it runs, but well, it is, but they also test in different temperatures. So it's a, yeah, if I can say, a tuned up movement, yeah, which I think is great with a micro rotor, because the initial idea why to do a micro rotor, to have more space for the lines to be engraved on the movement. If you have a rotor that covers half of the movement, well, I thought it would be nicer to add.
How do you engrave those plates?
It's by machine, but what we do is we have the full bridge, then the lines are engraved, and then the bridge is cut into pieces.
Right.
Because we found out that if you put them separate and then later you assemble, the lines sometimes cannot be full 100% matching. So that's how that's done. And then after the rhodium phase, there is a base paint put into the engravings, and on top of that the luminova, because otherwise it doesn't stick.
And the hand-wound version has quite an impressive architecture of the bridges. Is that something that you designed in collaboration?
No, these ones were they still had them at the factory with this, yeah, you could call it sort of a butterfly opening to show the barrels. And yeah, we've been in debate, in discussion, what would be better. Should we fully cover it maybe for a newer version, or do we leave the openings? I think it's nice that you can see it's on the back, that you can see the barrels, but yeah, it's also nice to show as much of the lines as possible, so something to think about.
I think it's a good compromise like this. I like to have an exciting architecture, like this sort of, as they put it, butterfly architecture. Is really beautiful. And how many watches, how long does it take to produce these watches? How many watches a year do you think you can produce?
Well, for example, now with the hand-wound movement, the new series will be 100 movements. So that's sort of numbers that are possible. Yeah, because of limited production space.
How many people work with you at Hercules?
So I'm on my own, but I have some, what would be the right word? Like freelance people that help me with design, with marketing, with other things. But it's mostly a one-man band. Let's call it that way.
Oh, you do a remarkable job, and maybe we can talk a bit further about the case. The lugs are part of the mid case?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yes. So this is a full polished case.
And the watches are very flat, by the way. One of the things I really like about these, while they are called Hercules and they have a bit of a muscular appearance, they're also very flat and wear very easy on the wrist. It's was it 9 millimeters?
No, 9.4.
Under 10.
Under 10.
And the diameter of the watch is
40. But they are a little bit.
It looks less because of the bezel.
But they are sort of oval would be very exaggerated. But on the sides of the watch, the mid case is round, but between the lugs, it goes down straight. Do you see it?
Yes.
So it gives a bit the idea that the strap is very close to the case. I could make the lugs a bit shorter as well. So yeah, that's the.
You could even put rounded spring bars.
Yeah.
If you wanted. Let's talk about the dial.
Yes.
This incredible texture. I love it. What's the secret behind this?
So this is a snow texture, which goes back to the mountain theme, of course. And so how it's made is that you make a stamp in reverse and then stamp the dial, and after that all the painting and the indexes and everything are attached. And we had a few runs because it was quite difficult to decide how big do you make the effect that it is visible but that it's also subtle. So we came to this version in the end, which I think you don't really see from a distance, especially with the white one. It looks like a normal white dial, but when you look closer you definitely see the snow effect. And the reason for the 4 colors, different colors that snow can get when algae get inside. So you have glaciers where whole parts are green, blue or pink, even icebergs full pink. So that's the theme of this series, the 4 ice color dials, that's what we call it.
It's great that you brought us all the different colors here. Any preference for you? Do you like the original white, or now you have the blue, green, and the pink hue?
I personally like the blue very much.
Yes.
The white could be maybe the safe choice if you call it that way, but it resembles mostly the snow dial, and I think the green and pink quite cheeky colors to add to a collection. If you have already white, blue, black, it's more standard colors of watches.
They all have a personality, and the pink is very delicious looking. I have to say, it's very attractive. So you can't really go wrong with any of the colors. Depends also what you have in your collection. It's a great way to have to add the green if you missed out on all the green watches that we saw in the past years. And this one, is there a particular name for this green shade, by the way?
No, I don't have a green. It's also the snow green.
It looks very good. It's not, from a distance you can see what kind of green this is. My problem is I like them all. This looks actually really good with my grey suit.
Well, you can only wear one at a time, 2 at a time. That's the max.
Yeah, you gotta have them all. Now, plans for the future. Obviously, Independent Watcher will be distributing these in the Greater China region. So reach out to Independent Watcher, independentwatcher.com. Benjamin will take care of you. Maybe there will be some special announcements just for IW, so stay tuned. But beyond this, what would you like to achieve with the brand?
Well, I want to grow it. It just started. I want to make it stable. This is quite a classic watch, based on the original, but also it's sort of, maybe I can call it like everyone's friend, sort of. It's not a very specific design. So my idea is to end up with a collection where we have a classic model and then a sports model and an extreme one. And the extreme should be very much for expeditions, used, going, people discover places by sailing boat to the North Pole, things like that. A bit bigger. I cannot really say too much about the design, but we're in the middle of that. The sports one would be very much a family of that, but then a bit more subtle and smaller, and the classic. And I think that's a great start of the brand, and to have a collection for everyone.
But the classic is already so versatile, and it is made literally to go on the top of Everest, which is as rough as it gets. It is tested. It's wonderfully versatile. That's what I love about it. At first, as I said, it doesn't strike you as too opulent, and then all the detail that you have put in it and the thoughts behind making it a tough watch while being an everyday watch at the same time. To me, it's a compelling alternative to a Rolex Explorer, for example,
Mm-hmm.
an Explorer 2.
Yeah, it's well, you could say that the story is a bit similar
It
in
is
some
similar.
ways.
Actually probably more real than the Explorer story. But let's not get into that, and we love Rolex.
There are people that say,
don't worry.
Smith's watch,
Yes.
a different story.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
anything else to add?
Well, the watches come in a beautiful box made of wood with the Nanga Parbat silhouette on the top, and the book of the story of Herman Buhl, the climber
Yes.
who wore the
There's
watches.
also a great documentary on YouTube.
True. You can watch it for free if you Google Nanga Parbat Hans Ertl. He made the movie, and it's the real movie of that climb. So
Yeah.
when you see him coming back, well, I won't go too much in the detail of the story, but Herman Buhl was the first one after 31 men tried to reach the top but didn't come back. So quite a heroic story. And when he went, he got caught up in bad weather, and he spent the night on some cliff very close to the top. So everyone thought he would never come back, but he did. So 2 movies made, several books written. If you're in the alpinist world, he's a very well-known guy there.
There you go. So a legend, just like the brand itself. Will you keep this HOP sign above the Hercules?
I'm not saying that it will be forever there, but this was the movement logo of Henzi and Pfaff. So that's the H and the P,
Right.
and in the middle it's the anchor wheel that they used.
Really an exciting brand. So I hope you've enjoyed discovering it on Independent Watcher. Reach out to Benjamin to buy yours right away, because there aren't that many of them being produced, and I think the brand is gonna have some great success. Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching. Bye bye, guys.